So a lot of you have been asking about Tortellino and how he's doing, so I thought today we'd just take a little bit of time to talk about him and any updates on him. He's right here, sleeping next to me, yes. Before we get started, Tortellino would like to remind you to please subscribe to the channel and like this video. If you'd like to continue the conversation with us, you can leave a comment down below so that we can keep talking about French Bulldogs even after the video is over. Tortellino is about to turn 5 years old, so this week will be his birthday. We got him a little under 5 years ago when he was 2 months old, and a lot has happened since then. Just a quick summary. Brachycephalic breeds, or dogs with flat faces or compromised breathing, typically benefit from having surgery that can reduce the blockage in their airway in their throat by removing some of the soft palate and also removing part of their nostrils so that they can breathe more easily. It is an unfortunate side effect of unhealthy breeding practices. I wish I knew about this before getting him. Our breeder insisted that, you know, French Bulldogs should not breathe well, and I don't know, I just stupidly believed it for some reason. But anyhow, he had surgery. It made a huge difference in his quality of life. He does not snore anywhere near as loudly. If you go listen to like my 1-year Frenchie review, like you can hear him breathing in the background pretty easily. Right now he's pretty much silent, and this is now 3 years after he had surgery. It's just truly incredible the difference that it made. I highly recommend it to anyone with a flat-faced dog or a dog who struggles with breathing. There are dogs that have muzzles that still have problems breathing, like King Charles Spaniels sometimes have the same issue. Cats. Honestly, the real solution is for us to have healthier breeding practices, but I think that's for another video. Since then, a lot has changed with us. We moved to Dallas and we also moved back and we brought Tortellino. We actually drove cross country to Dallas in our car and brought the dog with us, and he was a pretty good boy about it. He got a little restless being in the car for 2 days straight, but he got over it. And then when we drove back, it was the same thing. We brought him with us and he kind of figured what was going on, and you know, he would get worked up when we would stop, but then as soon as we started driving again, the white noise would kind of put him to sleep. So yeah, he was a pretty good boy, I gotta say. We've explored a lot more into options for his allergies. A side effect about Bulldogs is they tend to have pretty poor skin health, and a lot of them have skin allergies. Tortellino is no exception. He definitely has a lot of skin allergies, and we tried a number of things. So a lot of people will say to try changing food. We've tried so many foods with him at this point. The fact is we have him on a kibble. It's the Royal Canin medium dog, and it works really well for him, and we've tried so many, and the vet likes it. He does well on it. Honestly, the allergies are no different no matter what food we've put him on. Raw, cooked, well, not vegan because dogs are obligate carnivores. They have to eat meat. But like grain-free, with grain, rice, you know, different types of meat, kangaroo meat, chicken, beef, lamb, whatever. None of it matters. He has allergies regardless. So unfortunately it wasn't a food allergy, at least that we could tell. And we actually had a skin allergy test done for him. So there's a place in Grapevine in Texas that specializes in it. They just basically like shaved off a piece of his fur, and they basically scratch his skin with little plastic knobs that are basically dipped in like allergen essential oil. And he, like me, is pretty much allergic to everything, but he is especially allergic to cats, unfortunately, which I am also allergic to. It doesn't mean like I don't like cats and I can't pet them or anything. He certainly loves cats, but basically if I pet them, I have to be sure to wash my hands right away. Otherwise my hands will get itchy, or if I touch my face, get very itchy. And same thing for him. He'll get itchy from being anywhere near cats where they've been. So the Cytopoint, that was what we originally did when he was younger, just didn't keep working for him. At first we'd get a couple weeks of relief, but then it became where the Cytopoint maybe worked for a week before he started having allergies again. So we switched him to a pill, Apoquil, which is a different mechanism. It's basically a very light immunosuppressant. So basically you're treating the symptoms, not the cause, which with allergies, that's just the way it is. And we tried doing it's like basically like allergy shots for dogs, but they don't do shots. They have you give them a little drop in their mouth. And we tried it for a few months with him, and they said it could take a long time. It could take 3 months to a year to have an effect. The reality is after 3 months, we saw no improvement, and just the task of giving him these drops every day was so arduous and difficult. And you have to keep them refrigerated, and they're very expensive. And just ultimately we weren't seeing improvements, so we decided to stop. And I'm not saying they don't work. I'm sure they work for a lot of dogs. They didn't really work well for him, or if we didn't give him enough time. The reality is it was something that was very difficult to keep up with. So we have just kept him on Apoquil this whole time. And the Apoquil has worked well for him. The vet that he sees now is fine with him being on the amount that he's on. The fact that he's taking it and it's still working for him for the most part means that he's, he should keep using it basically until it doesn't work anymore. For now it's working, so we want to keep doing it. We've also found giving him baths more often makes a huge difference in his allergies, especially his itchiness. So a lot of people will say, don't bathe the dog every day. I'm sorry, well, you shouldn't bathe them every day, but don't bathe the dog every week. Bathe them once a month or every other month. At least that's what I've read online. And my vet has told me that's really not the case at all. You can bathe them once a week, even twice a week if necessary. Every day wouldn't be so good because it would dry out their skin too much, but once a week is totally fine, especially if you're using a very mild shampoo. We have a couple shampoos that we've been using. We actually just got a new shampoo. It's the Duasho S3 something. I'll have a link down below. But the calm version works really well for him. Like, we noticed a change even before he was out of the bathtub. Like, I guess it just took an immediate effect on him, how much better he felt. Like, he had been sleeping for the last couple weeks, I guess because his allergies were so bad. We gave him this bath and he was like playing, running around, like he was having the best time. He clearly felt so much better. I guess the shampoo we were using was something we had gotten on Amazon. The ingredients are not the same, at least the active ingredients. And I guess it wasn't doing anything. Maybe it made his skin drier and itchier. We got this new shampoo that was recommended by the vet, and he's like a new dog. He's so much happier. So yeah, try different shampoos for allergies. Definitely makes a difference. But at this time, he's doing really good at 5 years old. The last video I made, he was a little over 2 years old, and he still had a lot of puppy energy. And in some ways, he still does. When he meets someone new, he gets so excited and jumps up and everything. And we've done our best to train that out of him, but there's only so much you can do. He's just a very excitable dog, especially with people. So yeah, but he's calmed down overall so much. He's not as, I guess, energetic as he used to be, but he still likes to play and meet people. He's a very good dog. He's calmed down. And like, that's the thing. You never know when your dog's gonna calm down. They might calm down after 2 or 3 years. They might calm down after 5 or 6. We've had dogs that never calmed down their entire life. They were always super energetic. And it just kind of depends on the dog. We got pretty lucky with him. The only thing is, he still has some separation anxiety, so we take him with us on trips, and we've taken him to like the Bay Area with us to stay in Airbnbs and stuff. And so what we have here is, this is a bark collar that we use. I'll link to the one that we use down below. This is basically, it vibrates, it does not shock. The shock ones, I think you'd have to have some kind of really aggressive dog to need a shock collar. The vibrate one, for the most part, dogs will get in line pretty quickly with. I guess unless they're a really big dog who doesn't feel this, maybe they need the shock. I don't recommend the shock ones in general, just because I think it's too easy to overdo it. And if you are going to do it, zap yourself first. You should know what it feels like before you do it to the dog, because those things can be crazy painful. Yeah, we use the vibrate one, and it works really great for him. If we put this on him and use the vibrate on it, it actually hooks up to an app, so you can just manually buzz it. So like, if we take him with us when we're eating out and he's like trying to get on top of us to get to our food, we'll give him a little buzz and he knows to get down. If he's here at home and he's gonna start crying because we need to leave him for a little longer than usual, sometimes we have to be gone for 5 or 6 hours and leave him here, we'll put this on him, and we put it very loose because we don't want it to be uncomfortable for him. He's not going to try to slip out of it. You might have a dog that is more of an escape artist. He is not. He's pretty good about it. But if we put this on him, he's very calm. He knows the collar, the bark collar, means that it's time to be quiet and to not bark. So he's been good. He's been trained enough to know that the collar means calm time. And so we'll bring this with us when we go on trips, and we bring him an Airbnb in a new place that he hasn't been before. And it'll just help him adjust to the place much faster. And if we can like turn on a TV and put on like Great British Bake Off or something for him, then that makes it even better, because the white noise really helps him, sort of stay distracted. The truth is, he is so very sweet, and it's such a mixed bag with the French Bulldogs, because the poor breeding practices clearly are to blame for why they're so unhealthy. And like, I always try to sway people away from getting a French Bulldog unless you're going to rescue one and you have the money necessary to take care of them, you know, get surgeries for them or provide treatment for them. It really is not a good dog, I think, for most people. And I see French Bulldogs that get put up at rescues all the time because the family just can't afford their health expenses anymore. And gosh, you know, other countries, England and the Netherlands, and I think, was it Denmark also? All I know is there's countries out there that are trying to actually enact stricter breeding into their breeders. So basically you can't breed a dog that is going to be unhealthy. I think in some cases they're not strict enough, but it's really difficult to say because a lot of people like the way the dogs look with the flat faces. Unfortunately, it's really unhealthy and they're suffering, and like, it breaks my heart to know that there's just all this intentional suffering going on that we all just turn a blind eye to. Especially dogs, they don't ask for it. We do it whether or not they like it. So yeah, I don't recommend French Bulldogs to anyone unless you are rescuing one and you understand the health complications that are going to come with it inevitably. Or if you are, you know, there are some breeders out there who are trying to breed healthier bulldogs for real. Like, I've seen a lot of breeders, especially in Germany, that are trying to breed healthy bulldogs with long snouts, longer legs, and better spines. And I would say if you can support those breeders, I think that you should be able to consider a French Bulldog. But also knowing that this is not like I just need the best French Bulldog. You need to know that you're intentionally still supporting an industry that is largely pushed by like AKC and other breeder programs that, you know, set these really unhealthy standards for dogs. So when you're looking for a dog, something like an AKC stamp of approval is just, it's nonsense. Honestly, it doesn't guarantee anything. If anything, it actually even guarantees an unhealthy dog. The breeders that are trying to mix breeds, like mixing a French Bulldog with a Boston Terrier, for instance, you're gonna end up with probably a much healthier dog than if you had one or the other. There are also breeders who are just trying to find dogs that maybe don't have French Bulldog lineage but look like French Bulldogs and breeding them with because they have longer snouts and tails and everything else. We should not be like getting so hung up on the genetics, like if the bloodline is French Bulldog or whatever. That's honestly, it's like royalty, you know, in England. Like, this is not healthy. What we need to do is focus on making healthier dogs because, you know, I don't want dogs to suffer. I don't want to watch dogs suffer either. But I do know that while we have Tortellino, we're going to do everything we can to make him comfortable and happy. So, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content from my channel, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. If you'd like to continue the conversation after this video is over, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to chat more about French Bulldogs. So many people left me comments about how my video encouraged them to seek surgery for their dog that would give them a better quality of life. And that's like the best feeling in the world, to know that these videos are helping fewer dogs have to live a life of misery and suffering. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.